Welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time visiting. My name is Tina Hurley, and I'm the founder and CEO of a nonprofit called Less Leg, More Heart that helps amputees with support, supplies, and services to improve their quality of life. In this endeavor, as a founder of an organization trying to bring the best quality of life and wellness to folks in the disabled community, I am lucky enough to have this platform where we share vetted goods, services, businesses, providers that have things that improve wellness and have different therapeutic offerings to expand the scope of knowledge that you may have about things that can make you feel better, feel more restored, and move forward as the best version of yourself. I'm so excited because I have someone that definitely inspires me and is someone that comes from a generational healing arts background. Without further ado, Rose Shear, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
I know, I'm just so excited because I have gone through my own journey. As everyone that knows me or people that are just tuning in, they're like, there's something obviously missing, and there's probably a whole situation that surrounded that, which is accurate. And in that process of recovering, there were so many anxiety-provoking things in my life, and there were so many different multifaceted traumas that occurred, and so many different fears and triggers, and it was like this world that just plagued the worst part of yourself, of myself. And I had to learn to cope with that and to manage how I was feeling and the balanced nature of my energy and just kind of being present. And I had heard I had no idea what it was at the time, but I heard these bowls that were making these beautiful harmonies, and there were people in this, it was a YouTube video, and there were people, it was in a different country, and it was almost like an amphitheater outside with a bunch of different stairs, and there was this, what I now know is a sound healer, that was walking around the different areas of this amphitheater playing these different things and everyone's laying down almost like in a meditative state, and I had no idea, but I was captivated by that moment. So I went to one class way back. It was like singing bowls or something, and it was a 45-minute session, and I still to this day don't know as much about the background of the why behind it, but I just remember leaving everything. Like, I felt like I was floating in cloud off of my mat. Excuse me, I'm getting better from a cold. Off of my mat. And I remember just like coming out feeling so restored because just for a moment's time, long moment's time, I was able to like turn off the outside world. And like there was something about the sound and the vibration, and like there's just something about being there that helped. It was like a conduit to that state. And it was like long lasting. It felt really good for days after. So it was like a recharge. Like my battery was low, I plugged into the wall, and I felt good. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of where I've left it until Rose and I ran into each other. I was actually at this like quick overnight retreat, and it was on an island in Maine called Fortland. They've got yurts. It's a beautiful facility, like sunrises, sunsets. Everybody's really rad that works there, or anyone that's there, like they're adventured spirits. And there had these magazines that are like these empty, vacant areas where like the ammo for the cannons used to be stored at this old fortress. And the acoustics are incredible. I remember walking in and like just you could hear the echoes. And after I thought, man, my 2-year-old would love this, I thought, if we had some kind of a sound immersion or light immersion in here, I mean, just, it would be so beautiful. And so I had asked Rose, who was there, has this ever happened on the island? She's like, no, but like, that's what I do for a business. And so of course I wanted to dig in, because not only do you do sound healing, which we'll get into in this segment, but you also have a multifaceted therapeutic wellness center essentially in South Portland that you started, and is called Rose Colored Wellness, based off of your name. So can you tell folks a little bit about your business and what you offer in addition to what this is, and then also kind of like what got you into this line of work and the sound healing specifically?
Yeah. So, as you said, Rose Colored Wellness is my name, but also a play on like rose-colored glasses kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we offer the sound healing, as you see here, and color aromatherapy, which we had on here before, and Reiki, and also Yamana ball facial massages. So it's kind of like the gamut there to enliven your senses when you come in. You can pick and choose, combine, do a deep dive into one or the other. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, I come from a lineage of healers. My grandmother is a astrologer and a psychic, tarot card reading, also herbalist, and my mom is in the healing arts, including a Reiki practitioner. So I was always around it, like growing up, going to visit my grandmother and my step-grandfather in their Grafton Center for Peace, and there would be like meditations happening and like a crystal room and probably singing bowls, and I don't even like consciously remember that, but I'm sure, you know, if not in person, like recordings of that. And so earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, I was looking to expand. At the time I had the facial massages and the color aromatherapy, and I was like, I want to do more, you know, offer more here. And I was starting to think, before even learning about the sound, I was like, surely colors have like sounds associated with them. And so it didn't take much of a Google search. And then, of course, you know, as things happen locally, they were doing a sound healing class. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to that. And have since gotten to this point. So
wow, isn't it wonderful the way that the universe, God, whatever folks think about, that's like you get these nudges, and like if you can learn to trust that sort of like gut want to do it, should do it, like you're that innate curiosity, it leads you to the coolest places. I know that has been a big feature in my journey. So you fell into this, you wanted to learn more about it, you went to a class about it, and now this is part of your business.
Yeah, now it's part of my business. I've been, you know, gotten a couple certifications in it. And at first I thought I just wanted to do one-on-one sound healing sessions, which primarily involve the tuning forks, but also this other stuff. But you really get into the nitty-gritty with the tuning forks on a one-on-one session. And so I started doing those. And then over the summer, a handful of times I got asked and invited to actually cover for somebody who had their whole gamut of sound tools already for sound bath, which that's what you were saying you went to?
I think so, like you immerse in it.
Yeah.
And it's
like a sound immersion. It's not an actual bath, you know, like forest bathing.
It felt like it. I felt just saturated all over.
So even though I'd learned that when I was training, I hadn't actively, but then as you were, like you just also mentioned, things kind of happen, fall into place, and it was like, oh, of course. And so I filled in for these sound baths that were a combination actually with yoga nidra, kind of like meditation yoga. Yeah. So that was really powerful, where I was doing the sound and she was doing the meditation, the yoga meditation. And so then it only took a few of those. Then I was hooked. I was like, I want to invest in all the tools.
You have like beautiful carrying bags with so many. I mean, you guys saw the setup. It was incredible. You have all the most not only is it powerful in terms of like what it produces, but like the feel of it, the look of it, like everything just is so alive. I think that's maybe the best way that it feels.
Yeah, definitely. And so, so now I offer sound baths a few times a month at different studios, and I just love it. I love the community dynamic. That's actually, I've not mentioned it earlier, but another big part of starting this business is I was really wanting to be involved in the community of like wellness, but as like in group dynamics, not just the one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would be doing the sound baths, but here we are.
I know it wasn't in my 5-year plan to lose my leg either. Stuff just happens, right?
You just have to,
You just have to go with the flow. So I imagine that this is like a very desired skill. Like I imagine that like there's more business than you probably have time to do, because once you have a session, and I want years and years ago, but I know that after today I'll be like that rehooked, but it's like addicting. Like the feeling that it gives you, it's just you want to do more of it, right? And so people, I imagine, like don't just do it and hop in for a class. Like it's a recurrent thing that people want to practice and be involved with.
Yeah, definitely. And the sound and the vibrations do, like they know what to do. Like as my teacher says, like there's not really a way to do it wrong. Like obviously you don't want it to be like jarring and too loud or something. But somebody else also recently said, I feel like if you had earplugs in, you couldn't even hear the sound. It's the vibration and like the resonance that shifts during it within like the molecules of your body. So with a sound bath, and if it's not as tailored to you specifically, even a sound bath, like it'll get into those points that are needing support or like desiring support within your body, energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally. And if you're depleted, you'll feel recharged after. If you're like flutzy and you're like, I need to ground, you'll feel grounded after. Like it's kind of fascinating depending on what your body is like wanting. Like I have a friend who was a little fatigued, and after she was like, I was like high for like 3 days after the sound bath. So it's like, it just gives your body what your body is like desiring.
That's amazing. My body desires a lot, so I know it's going to take quite a bit for this segment. So there are all these different colors, right, to the forks, and I know in my naive, education of things that there are chakras that have different colors. Is there a tie-in to that with these tuning forks?
Yeah, there is a tie-in. These particular ones are the solfeggio frequency, so they are tuned into the chakras, and they have different like hertz numbers. But as far as the land of tuning forks, I mean, just grazing the surface, there's these. There's the Fibonacci frequency, which is named after this gentleman who, invented that. And then there's other ones that are like tuned to the planets, the energy of the planets.
Wow.
Which I am not versed in, but I just know that it's not just chakras, but yes, the ones I have are to work with the chakras, because at Rose Colored Wellness, as you know, that is a big piece and a passion of mine, and another reason of how my business came to be, because I had a pretty big personal practice with the chakras, and so now I have like the sound and the color aromatherapy and the Reiki and whatnot to kind of like work with the chakras and like amplify the
you're like holistically treating from all these different sensory modalities the chakras.
Yeah, so that's like my passion.
I
led chakra workshops all winter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's so awesome. So, okay, just so that I seal home this concept. So like the hertz, which is frequency, right? So the number that's on here is the associated number of the energy of the chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and the color.
And so like in just looking briefly, like they ascend in number. So the red is the lowest energy. So where is the red?
So it also associates with color. So red is the root chakra, and like red is like a lower frequency color, or lower vibration, excuse me.
Okay.
So it's more like grounding, earthy, rooted. It's like the earth element. And as you go up, the vibration of the colors of the, and the energy centers get more.
Is that because it's like closer to the brain, like the central nervous system?
Yeah, and the universe, and yeah.
I guess
more like ethereal. Right? Yeah. Right, yeah. So more ethereal. So it's like these are like the earth elements that you work with if you're doing it with the chakras. Earth, water, fire, air, and then you start getting more ethereal, which is like faster, like light energy, like really fast.
Wow, it's so good. I was saying in the last segment, and if you guys haven't checked it out already, make sure that you look at the segment that I did with Rose on color aromatherapy. So interesting. But I had mentioned there too that the appreciation that I have for the way that you're able to sort of dumb down or like reduce the depth of knowledge that you're sharing about the topic, when I know that there's so much that you know about like each individual thing, is really impressive. And some of the smartest people that I know are able to do that. So, I mean, you can deep dive into, we had someone on Heart to Heart, our peer virtual support group meeting, and they came in and talked about like the entire chart of emotion and all the frequencies that are associated and all the, colors that those had with them. I wonder if those are associated to the color theories of healing that you're discussing. And I mean, I bet there's just so much to get into, and what a beautiful thing to learn about, since you are essentially with yourself the rest of your life. And so the more things we find out about the way that things can synergize for our optimal states of healing, the better, right? I mean, it's like we all have these hobbies where we learn how to like paint figurines, or like we, learn about coins, but we are lacking sometimes so much intrinsic knowledge about the things that help us in the world. So it's so wonderful to be able to learn from you. So talk to me a little bit about what we do, or how these work, or where you want to start in showcasing some of the beauty of this therapy modality.
Yeah, so let's start with maybe practicing on you a little bit. Let's see. So I'm going to keep sticking with red here.
Okay.
Or actually, no, I'm going to actually start with this one. So I start all my sessions with this. It's the Ohm Tuner, and it has a rose quartz crystal here. So rose quartz is also like, very heart-centered and grounding. And so this is good for like the heart and grounding. And I hold it, right on somebody's heart to start a session. So
come closer to you, so it's easier.
Hopefully.
I know we're mic'd up, so.
Oh, and you have a heart right over your heart.
I know, so less like more heart. It's actually a prosthetic leg. For those that don't know, it's a prosthetic leg in the divot of the heart. And if you turned it sideways, it's
cool.
it's a lesser than sign and a greater than sign. So less leg, more heart.
Oh my God.
And my birthday is Valentine's Day. So, and fun fact about Tina, if you didn't know, I have a tiny upside down heart on my scalp underneath my hair that my mother noticed after I was born, which being born
Like
on
a
Valentine's Day,
birthmark or
a
something?
birthmark in the shape of a heart.
Oh my God,
Wild,
that's
right?
amazing.
And I'm so, I love love. So it all just works out.
I love it.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
I noticed
noticing.
the leg. I love that, but all the other pieces, that's so cool to find out about different logos.
Yeah.
So just breathe regularly. Can you feel that vibration kind of sinking in?
Mm.
So that's a nice way to like start a session for like grounding and centering. And then, yeah, the next thing I actually do is like I won't do a full thing, but this is a pendulum.
Okay.
And for those who aren't familiar, you can use it to check in with the energy centers.
Ooh.
So since we thought we were going to do red, we can check in with your root chakra. And it is telling me that it's needing extra support. So
cool. And highly accurate. That's the grounding one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
So then, I'm just kind of briefly, showcasing what I would do in a session.
Sure.
So I tune it like to myself so I can be aligned with the energy too. And then you'd be lying down, but when I let you hear it. And then I would actually like swirl it over your energy center to get the energy moving and to get the frequency and vibration kind of like getting the and you do that depending on what I've gotten in the assessment beforehand and what your energy is telling me intuitively and whatnot, and then go from there. And that's just one of the modalities or segments of the sound healing.
And the concept is to realign the frequency that the energy center is supposed to be at with what is current.
Like more more ideal to be like your more vibrant, fully self.
And so weird thing too, right? So if you have someone, so you're saying that by putting a frequency near me that is of similar to what it should be, it can help align mine with it. So is that the reason that when people are near you or around you, that energy like seeps or changes or augments the way that you feel, act, behave?
I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Okay. Just 2 cents.
Definitely. You can, we're all made of energy. You can like feel that when you're around somebody, and it can shift how you're,
You walk into a room and there's somebody that's disgruntled, like you immediately can feel that, right? Or the same with me, like I'm wiggles and giggles and I walk in and I feel like people have said before, like, oh, I just feel a little bit less.
A contagious energy.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. And it's because of the spray that I used, the color aromatherapy earlier. So check it out if you haven't for more information. Okay, so we did the tuning forks. You realized that I am not grounded and you helped to recenter that. And how long does that session have to go on for? Like how long would it take to do that?
Oh, not long.
Okay.
But this is like part of a session. Like, say if we wanted to do a deep dive into that, region of your energy, of your body, like, emotional, physical, that's just one thing. And then I don't have it here, but I have like another chime that is like for like root chakra. And then this is like the root chakra singing bowl. So I'll use different tools that are associated with that throughout the session. And then, of course, you always want, or maybe not, of course, but one thing is you want to always address like above and below. So if you have like a sticking point, you're definitely going to also address above and below. So if you're also doing that with the different bowls, before you know it, it's like a whole session. Because I also, no matter what somebody is in for, even if they're just in for a facial massage, I always check the energy centers with permission and will place stones on the centers that are like wanting to soak in some more support.
Wow. So
even if they're not in for an energy session.
Right. So the stones and the bowls that you also mentioned, do those emit the same frequency, the vibration? How do those tie into the frequency in the tuning fork?
Yeah, so the tuning fork, these tuning forks specifically are attuned to the chakras and balancing those, as are the singing bowls. So a lot of these you might see the crystal bowls are often white. I don't know if you've seen that.
I don't recall as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I only have 3 here. So if you have a whole set, which I do, but for sake of space and everything, we have the 3. And so there's 7. So they're each aligned with the chakras, just like these tuning forks.
The sound, the vibration that it gives. Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah. So it's so this is like tuned to essentially like that same.
Oh yeah, I can hear a little bit just in the scratch.
Yeah, like even if let's test it out. Look, so we can.
Like, do you think you could hear it on the microphone, the tuning fork?
Probably.
Like here, put it next to
I don't want to like
you can do it next
screech
to mine,
anybody.
ready? See if you can do the. Okay, and then you said that it makes the same sound. I wonder if it'll come through on the TV. Okay, I get it now.
So this can actually get like quite loud, but.
Whoa.
So you can imagine those. That's like, that's why I'm here, because you were picturing these in that facility.
It does. It sounds. Yeah.
If it was in there, can you imagine? It would be like, whoa.
Yes, so loud. But why? Okay, I get that you just swirled around it, but you finished the movement. So why is it still singing? Like, is it the shape of the bowl?
I think it's the shape of the bowl, and that it is a bowl, and just like the vibration, like it's still. And sometimes like
it's still going.
Yeah, and you'll find that with different people, like depending on what they want, like their body and mind and spirit is requesting. Sometimes like instruments will actually go much longer for one person and like less long for the other person. So this might be going long because like you're soaking it all in. It like your body like drinks it up.
Yeah,
so
it's
when
thirsty,
I was like,
because it's still going.
Yeah. So when I was learning this, there was this tool which I have, but I didn't bring. It's a triangle tuner, and my teacher was doing it in my head, and she was like, I like never see it go this long. So it just also speaks to like the person that it's happening on.
Yeah, and that must really like secure the validity if folks have that level of scrutiny in terms of like just energy. There's still like, even a few years ago, I was so naive to it being a thing, and it felt still taboo. Like for some reason, Western and some mainstream, like they don't necessarily give it the credit or the push. I think it's getting better now in mainstream than it had been like 5 years ago even. But when you experience things, and the same is true of life, you know them to be true, you know them to work. But like we are so used to reading, an article that states a certain thing that's like a p-value of less than 0.05 in medical science, and we need that to believe things as a society. But man, just sitting here, like if you could feel. Like even still, I don't know if you hear something still. I still feel like, do you hear it? Or is it inside of me?
I think I don't like hear it.
Okay, well it's inside of me now. You can feel the power of it. And so to sum up all the things, you would mention also rocks. So there's rocks, and I see that they're different colors and shapes, but like is a rock charged or?
So the stones, you can like Reiki charge
me.
them. That's okay. You can Reiki charge them. But really, no, like also just in nature, more times than not, the color of a stone often is associated with that energy center. Not always, like surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly because it's like earth, but some root chakra stones are actually black, like they're not red. So it's not always a color correlation.
Okay.
But when you do your research and resonate with certain stones, when you more times than not you see that at some, most of them are combined with the chakras. So like that's amethyst at the top, and so that's like for your crown chakra, and so things like that. If you have the stones by you or on you, it's not scientific, but that along that holistic healing, just the energy of those stones will help with that.
How do the stones translate to birthstones? Like, I'm an amethyst, and I'm just mentioning it in case somebody had a question.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so aside from it being my birthstone, like, how does that relate really to me? Or how does it?
That's a good question. I've never thought about it in terms of a birthstone. But if you want to go there, like, so yeah, amethyst would be like intuition, crown chakra. Like, do you feel like pretty connected, like spiritually and things like that? In what way? Like, I'm just saying if there is a correlation, I mean, that's what amethyst is like for meditative. Like, amethyst is like very meditative and like connecting with your intuition and like your higher self. And
probably I'm intuitive, right? But I would need to dig in on that a little bit.
Yeah, like, you know, so I'm April, so I'm diamond, or I guess not all of April, but they go by months. So I'm diamond. And so, yeah, I've never thought about it, but I'm just speaking off the cuff. I'm like, yeah, I mean, the clear quartz crystal is very like connected, like ethereally, and that's what I'm involved in. So I'd have to do my research and ask more people, like, what's your birthstone? Like, are you an earth person? Or like, you know, like, I don't know. I've never, like, I do love that kind of stuff and astrology and all of it, but
cool.
That would be interesting if it did correlate.
Well, I'm excited to look into it, and I'm glad that I have good questions despite this little virus that I'm fighting.
Well, it probably does a little bit because you're also, it's correlated because are you a Pisces then if you're
no, actually Aquarius on the 14th of February.
Okay, yeah, so, yeah, that's interesting.
Interesting. We're going to dig in. So in showing folks maybe a little bit of a sample, since we have just another minute or two left, how is it best to receive the sound?
Yeah, so I think you can just I'll just play it, and you can use your imagination, but this bowl, usually I put like on somebody's belly.
Let me lay down.
Do you want to do it?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, so this is more about the vibration, and it's not like as like a beautiful sound necessarily. Okay. I'm just going to be mindful of the mic.
I'll let people know how I feel as this goes, just so that they know what they could look forward to as they're going into sessions. Yeah, because I wouldn't even think that things would be placed on.
I forgot to get the mallet.
I think my my hydrated state and full bladder really helped to like hold the bowl too. So if folks want a pro tip as they go into their sessions, there's one.
I mean, you can hear it a little bit. But. So like I said, this isn't about the sound, but she'll tell us after how the vibration feels. I can feel it in my hand. I can actually hear the tonal vibration.
It feels really calming, like it pulls your attention to it, you know, because it's vibrating, but it definitely feels that sense of grounding for sure. And so we did that, and it is similar to the tuning fork where it's helping to vibrationally sort of restore the energy center. That's the concept?
Yeah, so that one's on like more or less your solar plexus. So we would do that with somebody if they were wanting to feel more confident or empowered or joyful, just like their power center, a little more heat in the body. You can, I have all the different chakra bowls that are little. I don't necessarily put those all in the body, but you can, again, have these for the chakras. So obviously you wouldn't like maybe put it, I don't know, like on your neck or sometimes it's next to the body, but if you can, applying it on the body. Okay. And then, I'll just show you some other tools. So this one.
Show us a couple of the other ones.
If we have time. Do we have time?
Yeah. We can we'll showcase them and then we can, people can look and find more information, but I definitely want to be able to hear them.
So this is another chime, and these can be different elements. So this is a water element chime, and you basically just will play it. This one's nice because you can swing it.
That's what he had at that amphitheater.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now so it's a water chime?
Well, this one's for water. You can get air, earth, fire.
Oh, that feels nice.
Yeah, a lot of these tools are either tuned to different like elements or energy centers, or the planets, or the seasons.
So great. I just want to close my eyes and bask in it. And then maybe we could just give folks a sense for like the different sounds that each of these make.
So I did, this is the root chakra, crown, and heart. So it's kind of like the bookends in the middle.
Is it normal to feel like I'm melting? Like slumping forward. I don't want to come back to real life. It's so relaxing. I feel like my just stress is dripping off of me. Oh, this is so wonderful. I'm so grateful that you brought all of these incredible instruments to share with everybody. And you know, folks want to find out more about your incredible therapeutic services and your center. Where can they find more information?
Yeah, they can find more information at rosecoloredwellness.com and on Instagram, rosecoloredwellness.
I cannot wait for you guys to just get a taste of some of the stress relieving and like grounding benefits of like all of the things that she offers. This has been so wonderful this time with you, and I'm looking forward to getting my own session after this. We actually have more time together because I couldn't pass up a chance to just like relish in it. Until next time, you guys, make sure to put your best foot forward and follow Less Leg More Heart for more content. Make sure you like and subscribe. See you next time.